Geronimo Stilton, The Kingdom of Fantasy, Part 11. We left the statues behind us and continued traveling. At last, we reached the top of the Mountain of White Fury. We searched for the diamond door that would lead us to the kingdom of the fairies. But there was so much snow, it was hard to see. Plus, with every paw step, I sank further down into the powdery drifts. It was then that I noticed another set of paw prints. Well, they weren't exactly paw prints. They were more like a giant set of footprints. Are you sure that no one lives in this kingdom? I asked the frog. But before he could answer me, everything went fuzzy. A strong gust of wind sent my glasses flying. I was as blind as my grouchy Grandma One Whisker before she had her cataract surgery. I began to feel around in the snow for my glasses. All of a sudden, I touched something soft and hairy. Oh, I gulped. Something told me it wasn't a cute snow bunny. Just then, I found my glasses. I put them on and nearly fainted. I was holding on to the red beard of a giant. I let go and tumbled back into a snowdrift. Maybe if I play dead, the giant will go away, I thought. At that moment, a giant shoe stepped on me. Help! I squeaked. I'm not dead. It was just an act. The shoe moved. Sorry, a loud voice said. I didn't see you. The giant picked me up by my tail and dangled me in the air. Two blue eyes stared at me curiously. Who are you? The giant asked. Scribblehopper spoke up. Can't you see, Ribbit? He's a knight in shining armor, of course. He's come to save the Queen of the Fairies, he croaked. My whiskers curled up in frustration. For the last time, Scribblehopper, I am not a knight, I cried. My name is Stilton. Geronimo Stilton. The giant thought this over. Anyone can say they're a knight, he said. How many tournaments have you won? How many damsels in distress have you saved? And where's your suit of shining armor? I tried to explain that I wasn't a knight. I just wanted to help the Queen of the Fairies. Save a queen? Yes, that's something a knight would do, he muttered. Meanwhile, King Factual and Queen Cozy introduced themselves and asked the giant to join us on our journey. The giant scratched his head. Anyone can say they're going on a journey. Where are you going? How long will it take? Are you bringing a bathrobe and a pair of slippers? He asked. As they were talking, Trick discovered a hot thermal spring. I'm going for a swim, the pixie announced. The giant chewed his lip. Anyone can say they're going for a swim. Do you have a bathing suit? Are you going to dive in or jump in? Will you do a backstroke or tread water? He asked. Princess Scatterbrain rolled her eyes. Okay, this is like sizzling my brain cells. I'm going to take a snooze. she grumbled. The giant knit his eyebrows. Anyone can say they're taking a snooze. Did you bring a pillow? Do you need a blanket? How about an alarm clock? He asked. I closed my eyes. I just couldn't take it anymore. I felt like we were all caught in a never-ending game show of giant Jeopardy. Fortunately, at that very moment, Queen Cozy decided to make lunch. The air filled with the delicious smell of toasted cheese. I sighed. There's nothing like a yummy toasted cheese sandwich after you've been stepped on by a giant. Queen Cozy laid the sandwiches on plates. Then she offered each of us a glass of lemonade. Fresh squeezed, she declared. The giant sniffed his drink. Anyone can say their lemonade is fresh squeezed. When did you squeeze it? How long did it take? Did you use a juicer? He asked. The queen of the gnomes turned purple in anger. She looked like she wanted to stick the giant in her juicer. While King Factual calmed down Queen Cozy, I turned to the giant. You still haven't told us your name, I said. The giant showed us a ring with a falcon on it. I belong to the royal house of Falcon's Beak. But I don't have a first name anymore. I forgot it, actually, when I lost everyone I loved, he said. And then he wiped away a giant tear. I pulled an umbrella out of my backpack. After all, who wants to drown in someone else's tears? Luckily, the giant wasn't offended. He went on with his story. It seemed the giant was the youngest of 12 brothers. For years and years they lived happily at Falcon's Beak. Then one day there was a terrible avalanche. The family was buried alive in their castle. Only the giant survived. A mother bear dug him out of the ice and raised him with her cubs. Well, that explained the I Love Honey t-shirt he was wearing at the very least. Then one day I met him, the giant continued, pointing behind me. I looked around nervously. I didn't want another giant foot stepping on me by accident. But no giant showed up. Instead, a magnificent falcon appeared. It landed on the giant's arm. I found it with a broken wing, said the giant. When it got better, I set it free, but it wouldn't leave me. So we've been friends ever since. Have you ever seen a falcon? They are amazing birds. And this one was smiling. The giant patted the falcon's wing. Then he went on with his story. I live in an immense mansion, he said. It's so big, it would take me a whole month to sleep in every room. And forget about the bathrooms, they're all over the place. Wow, the giant's place sounded fabulous. I was dying to take a nice hot bath. The word bathroom made me daydream about cheesy scented bath bubbles. Suddenly, the giant burst into tears. Nothing like a few tears to burst my bubbles. Oh, it's so sad, living alone in such a huge house, the giant sobbed. I've lost everything. My family, my friends, even my name. Wait a minute. Just then I remembered something. A word was engraved beneath the amethyst. It was probably the giant's name. I tried to decipher it. Well, I succeeded and told the giant what it was. And the giant liked the name very much. Now you aren't alone anymore, friend, I said. You can join us. You can be part of the Order of the Fairy Queen. Hooray! Everyone cheered. The giant was so thrilled, he gave me a hug. I tried not to pay attention to the bones crunching under my fur. To celebrate our newest member, I decided to tell a story. It was a really nice story about giants, and this is how it went. Brains over brawn, an Irish legend. In Ireland, there lived a giant who was known for his great strength. His name was Finn McCool. One day, another giant named Cuchulainn, who thought he was the strongest giant in the world, came to Finn's village. Cuchulainn had a secret. His strength was concentrated in the index finger of his right hand. The giant yelled out, "Finn McCool, where are you? I am here to challenge you." Finn was worried, but his wife Unag said, "Don't worry about it. I'll think of a way to take care of Cuchulainn." A funny Irish name. Finn shook his head. "What can you do to help me? You're just a weak woman." Unag reassured him. Brains over brawn. The giantess had her husband lie in a baby's crib. She told him to be still and quiet. Then she baked 2 loaves of bread. In one of them she hid a rock. When Cuchulainn arrived, the sly Unag came out to greet him. "Are you looking for my husband, Finn McCool?" she asked. "Don't you worry, he'll be back soon. But while you're here, would you do me a favor? The sun is about to rise. Would you please turn my house in that direction? My husband does this every morning." With a tremendous strain, Cuchulainn turned the house. In the meantime, he thought, this Finn McCool must be very strong. Then the giantess offered Cuchulainn the loaf with the hidden rock. "Taste it, it's my specialty." And as soon as the giant bit into it, he broke a tooth. Ow! The giantess feigned surprise. "Don't you like it? I always give this bread to my baby." In the meantime, she gave Finn McCool, who was in the crib, the bread without the rock, and Finn McCool ate it without a problem. Meanwhile, Cuchulainn was thinking, "Wow, this baby is huge. I wonder how big his father must be. He must have some phenomenal teeth." Then he stretched his right index finger towards Finn's lips, and with one chomp, Finn cleanly bit off the giant's finger. Cuchulainn screamed, "Ah, my index finger! That was my favorite finger." He ran and ran and ran and never, ever, ever came back. Finn McCool climbed out of the crib. "So, what is worth more, brains or brawn?" Unag asked him. Finn embraced his wife with admiration. "Woman, you should be proud of yourself. You just defeated the strongest giant in all of Ireland." Just as I finished my story, the mountain began to tremble. I heard the distant sound of thunder. "Avalanche!" shouted the giant. "Holy cheese! A raging ball of snow was headed right for us." The giant scooped us up, and seconds later he carried us right through the diamond door. The door to the kingdom of the fairies.